Welcome forward to Jesus' Course in Miracles, Chapter 1, page 7. You who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. You never really wanted peace before, so there was no point in being told how to achieve it. No learning is acquired by anyone unless he wants to learn it and believes in some way that he needs it. While the concept of lack does not exist in the creation of God, it is very apparent in the creation of man. It is, in fact, the essential difference. A need implies lack by definition. It involves the recognition that you would be better off in a state which is somehow different from the one you are in. Until the separation, which is a better term than the fall, nothing was lacking. This meant that man had no needs at all. If he had not deprived himself, he would never have experienced them. After the separation, needs became the most powerful source of motivation for human action. All behavior is essentially motivated by needs, but behavior itself is not a divine attribute. The body is the mechanism for behavior. This belief that he could be better off is the reason why man has the mechanism at his disposal. Each one acts according to the particular hierarchy of needs he establishes for himself. His hierarchy, in turn, depends on his perception of what he is, that is, what he lacks. A sense of separation from God is the only lack he really needs to correct. The sense of separation would never have occurred if he had not distorted his perceptions of truth and thus perceived himself as lacking. The concept of any sort of need hierarchy arose because, having made this fundamental error, he had already fragmented himself into levels with different needs. He integrates. He becomes one, and his needs become one accordingly. Unified need produces unified action because it produces a lack of ambivalence. The concept of need hierarchy, a corollary to the original error that man can be separated from God, requires correction at its own level. Before the error perceiving levels at all can be corrected. Man cannot behave effectively while he operates at a split level, or split levels. However, while he does, certain corrections must be introduced from the bottom up, that is, because he now operates in space where concepts such as up and down are meaningful. Ultimately, space is as meaningless as time. The concept is really one of space-time belief. The physical world exists only because man can use it to correct his unbelief, which placed him in originally. He can never control the effects of fear himself because he made fear and believes in what he made. In attitude, then, though not in content, he resembles his own Creator, who hath perfect faith in his creations, because he created them. Belief in a creation produces its existence. That is why man can believe in what no one else thinks is true. It is true for him because it was made by him. Every aspect of fear proceeds from an up-down perception. The more truly creative devoted their efforts to correcting perceptual distortions. The neurotic devotes his to comprise. The psychotic tries to escape by establishing the certain truths of his own errors. It is most difficult to free him by ordinary means because he is more consistent in his own denial of truth. The miracle, however, makes no such distinctions. To correct errors because they are errors, thus, the plain next point is to remember about miracles is 52. The miracles make no distinction among degrees of misperception. It is a device for perception correction, effective quite apart from either the degree or the direction of the error. This is true. This is its true indiscriminatedness. Christ-controlled miracles are selective only in the sense that they are directed towards those who can use them for themselves, since this makes it inevitable that they will extend them to others. A strong chain of atonement is welded. However, Christ's control takes no account at all of the magnitude of the miracle itself, because the concept of size exists in a plane that is itself unreal. Since the miracle aims at restoring the awareness of reality, it would hardly be useful if it were bound by the laws which govern the error it aims to correct. Only man makes this kind of mistake. It is an example of the foolish consistency which his own false beliefs have engendered. The power and strength of man's creative will must be understood before the real meaning of denial can be appreciated and relinquished. It is not mere negation. It is a positive miscreation. While the miscreation is necessarily believed in by its maker, it does not exist at all at the levels of true creation. 53. The miracle compares with man has made with the higher level creation, accepting what is in accord as true and rejecting the discord as false. All aspects of fear are untrue because they do not exist at the higher creative level, and therefore do not exist at all. To whatever extent a man is willing to submit his beliefs is to test. To that extent are perceptions correct. In sorting out the false from the true, the miracle proceeds along the following lines. If perfect love casts out fear, and if perfect fear exists, then there is not perfect love, but only perfect love really exists. If there is fear, it creates a state which does not exist. Believe this, and you will be free. Only God can establish this solution, and this faith is His gift. Such ends page 7 to the top of page 8.